train upon the track. My daddy was a brakeman, never knew if he'd come back. From a run down to Chicago or a long haul to the coast, just haunted by the whistle of the thing he feared the most. And the thing he couldn't live without, that rumbling iron beat that stole his youth and paid him back with famine instead of feed. And I got that cold steel rail running deep inside my soul. It's a fever and a hunger that is out of my control. Yeah, that cold steel rail, it's a hard and jealous friend. It'll take you on a journey that will never truly end. From the cradle to the graveyard, it's the only life I claim. Just a rhythm of the cold steel rail calling out my name. I've seen the lights of cities that ain't on my own damn shore. This country's blood flows through these veins of metal, cold and deep. And the secrets that the rails know are the secrets they will keep. Of the men who built this nation with their anger and their pride, and the ghosts who still keep riding on the long and final ride. 'Cause I got that cold steel rail running deep inside my soul. It's a fever and a hunger that is out of my control. Yeah, that cold steel rail, it's a hard and jealous friend. It'll take you on a journey that will never truly end. From the cradle to the graveyard, it's the only life I claim. Just the rhythm of the cold steel rail calling out my name. The sky's been hard as iron now for 90 days or more. The preacher's down to praying, but the fields are cracked and sore. The cattle stand like statues in the shimmering heat haze, and the whole damn town is living in a dusty, hopeless daze. Then I see him coming slowly in his wagon, old and gray. The man they say can bargain with the clouds to make them stay, 'cause he's got the Rainmaker's blues. He's got secrets in his hand. He's the last hope of the desperate in this dry and thirsty land. Yeah, the Rainmaker's blues, and a sky that will not weep. Just the broken promises the angry heavens keep. He'll do his dance, he'll sing his song, he'll make his ancient plea. But the Rainmaker's blues is knowing that the cure ain't guaranteed. He don't ask for gold or silver, just some water and some bread, and a quiet place to listen to the voices in his head. He'll stand out in the town square when the sun is beating down, and he'll start a low and mournful chant that echoes through the town. It's a language old as mountains, it's a rhythm deep and slow, a bargain with the thunder clouds that only he can know. Sometimes the clouds will gather, sometimes the wind will shift, and the sky will crack right open with a sweet and sudden gift. But sometimes all is magic, all is pleading and his pain won't break the stubborn silence of a sky that brings no rain. And he'll pack his dusty wagon and he'll move on down the track, leaving hope turned into bitterness right there upon his back. 'Cause he's got the Rainmaker's blues, he's got secrets in his hand. He's the last hope of the desperate in this dry and thirsty land. Yeah, the Rainmaker's blues, and a sky that will not weep. Just the broken promises the angry heavens keep. He'll do his dance, he'll sing his song, he'll make his ancient plea. But the Rainmaker's blues is knowing that the cure ain't guaranteed. Another town, another stage, another empty room, just a ghost of last night's whiskey in the pale light of the moon coming through the dirty window. Yeah, the story stays the same, just a worn-out guitar picker calling out a different name. Every single evening, but the song that stays behind is the only damn companion for my restless, weary mind. 'Cause all I've ever had is these 6 strings and a broken heart, playing out the memory of a love I tore apart. Yeah, 6 strings and a broken heart, it's the tools of my damn trade, turning all my misery into a sad parade of lonely, honest music for the lonely and the lost. Just 6 strings and a broken heart, whatever damn fool calls. Kids watching with that fire in their eye, thinking this life's glamour underneath the painted sky. They don't see the miles of highway, they don't see the cheap motels, they don't know the lonely language of 1,000 sad farewells. They just hear the sweet sound leaking from this beat up piece of wood, and they think it's something magic, something pure and something good. For the woman that I left behind in some forgotten year. Yeah, this guitar ain't just wood and wire, it's a vessel for the pain of a love I threw away beneath the cold and driving rain. And the only way I know, Lord, to keep her memory near is to sing it to the strangers who are lonely just like me right here. 'Cause all I've ever had is these 6 strings and a broken heart, playing out the memory of a love I tore apart. Yeah, 6 strings and a broken heart, it's the tools of my damn trade, turning all my misery into a sad parade of lonely, honest music for the lonely and the lost. Just 6 strings and a broken heart, whatever damn fool calls. Ran the store with kindness in his eye. He'd give a poor man credit beneath the cold November sky. He never judged a sinner, he never turned away a soul who needed comfort at the closing of the day. He was a rock of this whole county, he was honest and was true. the kind of man the storybooks tell legends of to you. But they buried the last good man today beneath the weeping willow tree, and a little piece of decency has died for you and me. Yeah, they buried the last good man, and the world feels cold and gray, 'cause a simple kind of goodness seems to fade a bit each day. He wasn't rich, he wasn't loud, he wasn't blessed with fame. He was just the last good man who ever knew my name and cared. When my own daddy left us and my mama took to tears, he was the one who checked on us through all those hungry years. He gave me my first real job, sweeping sawdust off his floor. Taught me about respect, son, and 100 lessons more. He never preached no sermon, but his actions spoke so loud. Just a quiet lighthouse standing in a lost and stormy crowd. I fear his brand of honesty is finally dying out, 'cause they buried the last good man today beneath the weeping willow tree, and a little piece of decency has died for you and me. Yeah, they buried the last good man, and the world feels cold and gray, 'cause a simple kind of goodness seems to fade a bit each day. He wasn't rich, he wasn't loud, he wasn't blessed with fame. He was just the last good man who ever knew my name and cared. The moon hangs like a skull tonight above the dusty ground, and the only sounds are whispers, blow the wind blowing around these lonely wooden markers where the forgotten people sleep beneath a quilt of silence that the lonely coyotes keep. I come out here sometimes, Lord, when the town gets way too loud, just to walk among the quiet and the long forgotten crowd. 'Cause the bone orchard's honest, it don't tell you any lies, just the fine empty sky. Yeah, the bone orchard's peaceful in a cold and final way. It reminds you that your troubles are just borrowed for the day. And the richest king and poorest fool both end up just the same. Just a name carved on a stone inside this long and losing game. I see the dates upon the markers. Some lived long and some died fast. Some were heroes, some were sinners, in a play that couldn't last. There's a tiny stone for Mary's child who never saw the sun, and a big one for the banker whose own race was finally run. It don't matter what you build here, it don't matter what you own. You're just fertilizer now, boy, for the seeds the weeds have sown. Focus makes you see what's really true, that the only thing that matters is the love that sees you through, and the kindness that you offer to the stranger on the road, to help him lift the burden of his own and heavy load. 'Cause this silence holds the wisdom that the living never hear, that your time is just a whisper in the middle of the year. And the bone orchard's honest, it don't tell you any lie, just the final simple story underneath these empty skies. Yeah, the bone orchard's peaceful in a cold and final way. It reminds you that your trouble are just borrowed for the day. And the richest king and poorest fool both end up just the same. Just a name carved on a stone inside this long and losing game. Now most folks walk these city streets with their eyes up on the prize, looking at the skyscrapers, believing their own lies about the glory and the power, the speed and the success. don't see the quiet story of the beautiful damn mess that's happening right beneath them. Yeah, the truth you'll never cheat, written in the tiny lines, the cracks in the concrete. 'Cause the cracks in the pavement hold the sorrow and the rain of a million hurried footsteps carrying a million kinds of pain. Yeah, the cracks in the pavement know the weight of every soul that's searching for salvation or has lost all its control. It's a map of imperfection, it's a testament to strain. The cracks in the pavement whispering out everybody's name. There's a weed pushing up through the stone, stubborn and so green, a tiny act of rebellion in this cold and gray machine. There's a stain from last night's whiskey, or maybe it was blood, a memory of a moment drowning in the urban mud. Every line's a different story, every split's a different plea, from the heart of this damn city for the likes of you and me. Sky, Lord, but the truth is on the ground, in the dirt between the shadows where the real ghosts can be found. Not in the halls of power, not in the banker's easy chair, but in the face of every stranger and the burden that they bear. And if you want to know the story of this hard and weary town, just forget about the skyline, boy, and look straight down. 'Cause the cracks in the pavement hold the sorrow and the rain of a million hurried footsteps carrying a million kinds of pain. Yeah, the cracks in the pavement know the weight of every soul that's searching for salvation or has lost all its control. It's a map of imperfection, it's a testament to strain. The cracks in the pavement whispering out everybody's name. I could pack my bags tomorrow, hit that highway in the night, leave this comfortable damn prison for a chance to make things right. Could find a brand new city where nobody knows my name. Could try to be a different man in a whole and different game. Yeah, the thought is mighty tempting, like a sweet and cool, clear stream. The ghost of my own future in a long forgotten dream. the safest damn is bed. Yeah, the devil, you know, he might be mean, he might be cruel, but at least you know the boundaries and you know his every rule. So I'll just stay right here, Lord, in this place I understand. 'Cause the devil that I know is just the devil close at hand. There are monsters yet unseen. There are sorrows even deeper than the ones that I have been acquainted with for my whole life. The ones I call my own, the familiar heavy burden of the seeds that I have sown. This cage might be a cage, son, but at least I know the bars, and I know the constellations of my own and private stars. Now freedom's just a whisper till you step out in the storm and find the cost of leaving is a cold that keeps you warm. With fear instead of anger, with panic instead of pride, and you're running from a demon, nowhere left to hide. But the demon that you know, well, he's predictable and tame compared to the damn strangers who are calling out your name. And the devil you know is better than the devil you ain't met. And the trouble that is familiar is the safest damn is bed. Yeah, the devil, you know, he might be mean, he might be cruel, but at least you know the boundaries and you know his every rule. So I'll just stay right here, Lord, in this place I understand. 'Cause the devil that I know is just the devil close at hand. I woke up in a cold sweat from a dark and twisted dream. Heard the rattle of some old chains and a long and final scream. Looked out my dusty window at the pale and sickly moon. Knew the piper who'd been playing was was expecting payment soon. Yeah, the party's been real fine, boys. The whiskey flowed like rain, but the devil's got a bar tab, and he always collects his pain. 'Cause it's the devil's payday, and the interest rate is high. For every cent you borrowed underneath the summer sky. Yeah, it's the devil's payday. He don't care about your tears. He just wants that pound of flesh you owe him for the years of running wild and living fast and laughing at the cost. The devil's payday's coming for the souls already lost. I remember standing proud, thinking I could beat the game, thinking I could take his money and escape the burning flame. But he's a patient kind of banker. He's got all the time there is, and he knows your every weakness, every lie and every fizzle out dream. He don't need no damn contract. He don't need no ink or pen. He just needs the broken promise of a fool who'll sin again. Now the clock upon the wall is ticking loud inside my head, counting down the final moments in my cold and lonely bed. I can hear him walking up the stairs, his footsteps slow and sure. He ain't coming here to bargain, he ain't coming here to cure. He's just coming here to settle up, to close the damn account for the beautiful damn misery in which my soul is drowned. 'Cause it's the devil's payday, and the interest rate is high. For every sin you borrowed underneath the summer sky. Yeah, it's the devil's payday. He don't care about your tears. He just wants that pound of flesh you owe him for the years of running wild and living fast and laughing at the cost. The devil's payday is coming for the souls already lost. I woke up feeling fine today. The sky was clear and blue. My pockets weren't quite empty and my debts were small and few. I thought today's a day, Lord, that my luck begins to change. Gonna step out of the shadows and onto a brand new stage. I was feeling almost righteous, I was feeling almost free. Then I heard that quiet whisper that's reserved just for me. 'Cause you gotta pay the devil's tax for every moment of pure light. A little piece of darkness in the middle of the night. Yeah, you gotta pay the devil's tax. It's the oldest rule there is. For every bit of laughter, there's a corresponding hiss from the shadows in the corner, just reminding you the cost of every single victory is something you have lost. So the phone began to ring then, with a voice I didn't want to hear. A ghost from a bad chapter, bringing back the doubt and fear. And the roof began to leak again, just a slow and steady drip. A tiny little insult from a cold and cosmic lip. Yeah, the sunshine couldn't last, Lord, the peace could never stay. 'Cause the devil needs his payment at the closing of the day. You can try to fight it, you can try to run and hide, but the taxman for your own soul is living right inside. And he keeps a perfect ledger of your arrogance and pride. And the bill is always waiting on the dark and flip side of every moment's pleasure, of every simple grace. He's just standing in the shadows with a smile upon his face. 'Cause you gotta pay the devil's tax for every moment of your life. A little piece of darkness in the middle of the night. Yeah, you gotta pay the devil's tax. It's the oldest rule there is. For every bit of laughter, there's a corresponding hiss from the shadows in the corner, just reminding you the cost of every single victory is something you have lost. sun was shining on the floor, and the usual damn demons weren't knocking at my door. The radio played something sweet, the coffee tasted right. Didn't feel the heavy shadow from the long and foolish night. It like the storm inside me had decided to just cease, and left me with a strange and unfamiliar kind of peace. 'Cause the devil's workshop is closed today, he must have taken ill. My mind is quite strangely calm upon this lonely hill. Yeah, the devil's workshop is closed today, the hammers make no sound. There ain't a single wicked thought of making its way around. Don't know how long it's gonna last, don't know the reason why, but the devil's workshop's closed today beneath a clear blue sky. Folks all said hello. Didn't feel that usual judgment from the seeds I like to sow. The world looked kind of friendly, it didn't feel so sharp and mean. Like I stepped into a different and a far more pleasant scene. Didn't feel that old temptation pulling me toward the bar. Just felt like being thankful for the simple man I. Now I know you'll be back open probably before the day is done, with a brand new batch of troubles underneath the setting sun. But just for this one moment, just for this one stretch of time, it feels good not to be living with a partner to my crime. Yeah, the quiet feels like heaven and the calm feels like a grace, a temporary truce within this sad and weary race. 'Cause the devil's workshop is closed today, he must have taken ill. My mind is quiet, strangely calm upon this lonely hill. Yeah, the devil's workshop is closed today, the hammers make no sound. There ain't a single wicked thought of making its way round. Don't know how long it's gonna last, don't know the reason why, but the devil's workshop's closed today beneath a clear blue sky. I ain't never been mistaken for a saint or for a king. Just a man who's learned to wrestle with the trouble life can bring. I've got calluses on my fingers, got some mileage on my soul, and I've paid the price for aiming high and losing all control. Yeah, I've seen the ugly side of things, I know the taste of fear, but I also know the beauty of just simply being here. 'Cause it takes a little grit and it takes a little grace to keep on standing upright in this hard and weary place. It takes the grit to fight and the grace to let things go. Between the thunder and the quiet is the only truth I know. You gotta hold them both inside you, the darkness and the light. Yeah, the grit to face the morning and the grace to face the night. I've seen men fall to pieces from a single heavy blow, and I've seen men stand like mountains in the face of undertow. And the difference ain't the muscle, no, it ain't the clever plan. It's the quiet combination that defines a better man. It's knowing when to push ahead and knowing when to yield, and finding your own shelter on a lonely battlefield. Break you, it'll try to make you choose between the anger and the sorrow, between the winning and lose. But the real strength ain't in big size, it's standing in between, with a heart that knows the wreckage and a soul that's keeping clean. Yeah, you wear your scars with honor, but you don't forget the cost, and you hold on to the memory of everything you've lost in love. 'Cause it takes a little grit and it takes a little grace to keep on standing upright in this hard and weary place. Yeah, it takes a grit to fight and the grace to let things go. Between the thunder and the quiet is the only truth I know. You gotta hold them both inside you, the darkness and the light. Yeah, the grit to face the morning and the grace to face the night. thought my reign would never cease, just a fool who ruled a kingdom made of temporary peace. But the tide came in this morning with a cold and angry sound, and washed away the empire I had built on shaky ground. Now I'm the king of nothing at all, just sitting in the rain, on the wreckage of my future and the memory of my pain. Yeah, the king of nothing at all, with a crown made of regret and a kingdom full of promises I wish I'd never met. I had the world right in my pocket, now I'm destined for the fall. Just the lonely, busted monarch, the king of nothing at all. My queen, she packed her diamonds, didn't even say goodbye, just left me with the echo of her long and weary sigh. My knights have fled the table, my jesters do not call. The only one still loyal is my shadow on the wall. And the castle that I built here with my arrogance and greed is just a pile of rubble planted with a bitter seed. You can build your walls so high, son, you can make your army strong, but if your foundation's rotten, then your rule won't last for long. Cause the truth is like the water, it'll seep right through the stone and leave you standing naked and leave you all alone. Yeah, pride's a damn fine builder, but a terrible damn friend when you're standing in the ruins at your own and bitter end. Cause I'm the king of nothing at all, just sitting in the rain, on the wreckage of my future and the memory of my pain. Yeah, the king of nothing at all, with a crown made of regret and a kingdom full of promises I wish I'd never met. I had the world right in my pocket, now I'm destined for the fall. Just the lonely, busted monarch, the king of nothing at all. dusty side, spilling out the hopeful and the ones about to cry. I was just another shadow, heading somewhere I ain't been, just looking for a quiet spot to let the new day in. The eye was full of faces, tired, worried, and alone, each one carrying a burden that was heavy as a stone. And the last free seat was next to you, with your window to the world, a story in your silence of a life that's been unfurled. Yeah, the last free seat was next to you, so I sat without a sound on that long and lonely journey, on that hard and weary ground. We didn't speak for miles, babe, we just watched the fields roll past, two strangers on a highway, hoping that the peace would last. Your mind was looking back. There's some ghost you couldn't shake off on a long forgotten track. And I saw my own reflection in your quiet, steady gaze, the prisoner of a memory from my own and younger days. We were running from the same damn thing, though the names might not align. Just the universal heartache of a love that ain't still thine. Somewhere out in Texas, when the sun was hanging low, you finally turned and looked at me and said it's time to go back and face the music. Yeah, you said it's soft and clear. You can't outrun the silence and you can't outrun the fear. You stood up at the next stop, didn't even say goodbye, just stepped out in the twilight underneath an empty sky. And the last free seat was next to you, with your window to the world, a story in your silence of a life that's been unfurled. Yeah, the last free seat was next to you, now it's just an empty space on that long and lonely journey to some godforsaken place. The fields roll past, now I'm just a single stranger, and the memory fades so fast. Our fingers feel like strangers on these worn and dusty strings, and my voice is just the echo of a song a dead man sings. I've played 1,000 stages, I've sung 1,000,000 lives for the temporary comfort in a sea of empty eyes. But tonight the room is quiet, just the humming of the wire, and the ghost of my own history feeding my own final fire. 'Cause I'm searching for the last honest note I've got left inside of me. Just a single simple truth to finally set my spirit free. Yeah, the last honest note before the silence takes its hold. The final weary chapter of a story getting old. It ain't about the glory, it ain't about the art, it's just the final signal from a worn and broken heart. I've sung about the highway, I've sung about the rain, I've sung about the pleasure, and I've sung about the pain. I've been a lonely rambler, I've been the jealous man, I've been the fool who always breaks the best part of the plan. But underneath the stories, underneath the sweat and booze, was just a kid who's searching for a truth he couldn't lose or find. The songs, they are the easy part, the rhythm and the rhyme, but the honesty's the currency you borrow against time. And my account is running empty, the well is almost dry, and I'm looking for one final drop beneath this weary sky. One single piece of music that is naked and is true, before I say my last goodbye to the likes of me and you. 'Cause I'm searching for the last honest note I've got left inside of me. Just a single simple truth to finally set my spirit free. Yeah, the last honest note before the silence takes its hold. The final weary chapter of a I'm looking back across the years, the landscape scarred and gray, at all the different battles that I fought along the way. I've known the taste of victory, I've known the bitter sting of loss. I paid the devil's ferryman, whatever price it cost, to get me to this quiet place, this chair upon the porch, where I'm just watching the evening, still the daylight's burning torch. And I ain't proud of everything I've done beneath the sun, but I'm proud of all the battles that I could have fought and run. Yeah, the lines I didn't cross, Lord, though the temptation called my name, the moments where I chose the truth instead of the damn shame. Those ain't the flashy stories, they're the quiet ones indeed. But the lines I didn't cross are the only promises I keep. Final thread of worn-out foolish hopes. A man offered me easy cash to turn my head away from a thing I knew was wrong, just for a single payday. And the hunger in my belly screamed, go on and take the prize. But the ghost of my old father stood reflected in my eyes. And I remember standing angry with my fist clenched hard and tight, ready to unleash the fury in the middle of the night on a man who'd surely earned it, who had wronged me deep and sore. But I saw the fear behind his eyes and I couldn't ask for more. Damage that he'd already done to his own and twisted soul. So I just turned and walked away and let the silence take its toll. just a young man, the world was black and white. Every victory was forever, every loss an endless night. I was running on pure gasoline, I was burning hot and fast, convinced that every moment was the one that had to last. I'd curse the slow old timers with their patience and their gaze. Didn't know they saw a future past my own in youthful haze. But now I'm taking the long view from a hill I had to climb, and I finally understand the slow and steady march of time. Yeah, I'm taking the long view, and the picture's getting clear. The mountains that I thought so high don't seem so tall from here. It ain't about the sprint, son, it ain't about the speed. It's about the quiet understanding of the slow maturing seed. I remember broken hearts that felt like the world's on end, and I remember feuds I swore I'd never comprehend or mend. But the anger fades like watercolor left out in the rain, and what felt like Armageddon is just a dull and distant pain. Time's a river, not a razor, yeah, it smooths the edges down and makes a quiet harbor of a rough and stormy town. And all the things I worried about, the money and the fame, they're just echoes in the distance of a long forgotten game. 'Cause the only real damn treasure that a man can never find is a quiet satisfaction in his own and settled mind, and the knowledge that the seasons turn, the sun will rise and set, and there ain't a single storm cloud that hasn't passed you by just yet. 'Cause I'm taking the long view from a hill I had to climb, and I finally understand the slow and steady march of time. Yeah, I'm taking the long view, and the picture's getting clear. The mountains that I thought so high don't seem so tall from here. It ain't about the sprint, son, it ain't about the speed. It's about the quiet understanding of the slow maturing seed. My granddad left me nothing but a box of rusty tools and a dusty old cathedral radio from the days before the rules of digital perfection. Yeah, this thing is tubes and wood, and it takes a patient minute for it sounds the way it should. It hums a bit, it crackles low, the dial light barely gleams, but it pulls a ghost right from the air, the ghost of forgotten dreams. And the old man's radio plays the songs they don't play anymore, of heartache and cheap whiskey spilled on some forgotten floor. Yeah, the old man's radio is tuned to yesterday, singing truths about tomorrow in its own static-filled way. It ain't loud, it ain't perfect, but the signal's strong and true. The old man's radio is singing out the blues for me and you. Sometimes late at night, when the house is dark and deep, and the worries of the modern world refuse to let me sleep, I'll switch it on and listen to the whispers and the sighs of singers long since buried underneath the weary skies. They're singing about the same damn things that haunt my own damn soul. The hunger and the heartbreak and the loss of all control. Now the kids, they got their playlists on their phones so bright and fast. They don't know the simple magic of a sound that's built to last. They don't know the thrill of tuning through the static and the hiss, to find that one clear station, bringing endless family bliss. It's a connection to the past, son. It's a living, breathing thing, not just a perfect copy of the song the dead men sing. And the old man's radio plays the songs they don't play anymore, of heartache and cheap whiskey spilled on some forgotten floor. Yeah, the old man's radio is tuned to yesterday, singing truths about tomorrow in its own static. He stands there by the graveside in his suit of formal black. Got a face as still as marble, ain't no turning of the track. For the soul that lies silent in the cold and open ground, he's the final damn companion in this weary, busted town. He's heard 1,000 eulogies, he's seen 1,000,000 tears. He's the keeper of the ending of 100,000 years. And the Undertaker's smile is a cold and knowing thing. He knows the final verse that every single soul must sing. Yeah, the Undertaker's smile, it ain't cruel and it ain't kind, just the quiet satisfaction of the ones you leave behind. He'll measure you for timber, he'll measure you for dust. He's the final silent witness to your vanity and lust. He sees the weeping widow, he sees the orphan child, he sees a secret pleasure in the sinner reconciled to the fact that death's a leveler, the equalizer true. It don't care about the color or the likes of me and you. He just folds his hands politely with a reverence and a grace, and waits to lock the final gate upon this weary place. You finally find when you leave the noise and fury of the living world behind. He ain't the judge, he ain't the jury, he's just a man who shuts the door on a room you won't be needing anymore. And the Undertaker's smile is a cold and a knowing thing. Single soul must sing. Yeah, the Undertaker's smile, it ain't cruel and it ain't kind, just the quiet satisfaction of the ones you leave behind. He'll measure you for timber, he'll measure you for dust. lost and tangled mind. Like mine, just sitting quiet with a bottle old and brown. The only damn companion left in this forgotten town. I poured a final measure, held it shimmering to the light, and I swear I saw a teardrop falling in the lonely night. 'Cause tonight, even the whiskey wept for the fool I've come to be. Yeah, the amber consolation shed a single tear for me. It knows the stories I won't tell, it knows the pain I hide. It's the only damn witness left who's standing by my side. When the world has turned its back, Lord, and my soul is stripped and kept there beneath the moonlight tonight, even the whiskey wept. It wasn't just the alcohol, it wasn't just the burn. It felt like something ancient, a lesson I should learn. Of my own pride and the beautiful damn wreckage that I carry deep inside. This bottle's heard more secrets than a priest in his own booth. It's the keeper of my sorrow and my long forgotten youth. Now some men find their comfort in a woman or a prayer, but I find mine right here inside this understanding stare. Of the bottle standing patient, offering its silent grace, a temporary amnesty in this sad and weary place. It don't judge me for my weakness, it don't judge me for my sin. It just shares the heavy burden of the trouble I am in. 'Cause tonight, even the whiskey wept for the fool I've come to be. Yeah, the amber consolation shed a single tear for me. It knows the stories I won't tell, it knows the pain I hide. It's the only damn witness left who's standing by my side. When the world has turned its back, Lord, and my soul is stripped and kept bare beneath the moonlight tonight. Yeah, even the whiskey wept. chair down by the window in this place they call the Pines, just watching younger people living out their own designs. The air smells clean and quiet, like polish and regret, and the clock upon the wall ticks off the time I ain't lived yet. The nurse, she smiles politely, asks me how I feel today. Just another patron saint of slowly fading all away. And I got the waiting room blues, sitting here paying dues for a lifetime of fast living and igniting my own fuse. Yeah, the waiting room blues, it's the final quiet stage, just another weary actor getting paid a living wage to sit and watch the seasons turn outside the window pane, singing the waiting room blues in the sun and in the rain. My fingers, they remember riffs they can no longer play on a phantom six-string whisper from a long forgotten day. My mind recalls the faces of the women and the bars and the beautiful damn wreckage underneath a million stars. Now the only stars I see are in the ceiling, cold and white, and the only heat I feel is from the single reading light. Sometimes late at night, when the hallway's dark and deep, and the ghosts of my own past come here to wake me from my sleep, I'll tap my foot out quietly upon the polished floor and hum a little blues tune about the man I was before. 'Cause you can take away my body, you can take away my time, but you can't take the damn rhythm from a soul that's past its prime, but still kicking. And I got the waiting room blues, sitting here paying dues for a lifetime of fast living and igniting my own fuse. Yeah, the waiting room blues, it's the final quiet stage, just another weary actor getting paid a living wage to sit and watch the seasons turn outside the window pane, singing the waiting room blues in the sun and in the rain.